Hello and welcome to another video, guys. Today I have a quick little replay for you guys and we're just going to talk over it. I'll try and skip through some things, but yeah, I just wanted to quickly get this replay because I had a very good race last night, and then once I've recorded this I'm going to play for the night and upload this later. So right there we see my first overtake. First lap of this race. I'm really enjoying this race, by the way. If you guys have GT7 and you're not playing this race this week, it is definitely something to consider because it is quite a lot of fun. The tyre wear being so high makes it a really enjoyable experience for someone on a wheel. Now if you're on controller, I might say maybe avoid this because it is quite heavily orientated to being smooth on a wheel, but you will definitely still get away with it. You're just going to have to make sure that you only maximize about 5 laps on the medium tyre. So as I've been talking, you can see we're going through this first lap. It's a short lap, but it is a very nice flowing track. Good for overtakes. There's a lot of good overtaking opportunities, but also quite easy to defend on, so it kind of appeals to both an attacking and defending driver, which I think is a very good thing for a track to have, especially one when you have the caliber of this race. So now we're sort of starting to settle in here. The guys at the back are slightly slower than the ones as I start moving forward. And my DR and SR is finally sort of getting back up to where I should be, but yeah, we're just going to watch through here because once we get into the later stages of the race I'll start to fast forward a bit, but for the most part here we're just going to quickly talk about my strategy in this race. Now of course you have the mediums and the hards available, and both are mandatory. So what I've chosen to do, because I like starting at the back and I don't set lap times, I've decided to start on the hard and just basically make up as many positions as I can on the hard. Now there's been a lot of carnage throughout doing this, and as you can see there I had a huge moment and just saved the car. Wowee. Yeah, that's another thing I want to talk about, but let's quickly just go through my strategy. So my strategy is, like I said, start on the hards and then use the mediums later on in the race once my tyre wear, once my fuel has lightened the fuel load. So once I have less fuel, there I can get a slightly better life out of the tyres. Now it's nowhere near, if the fuel was on ×3 or 4, you would definitely see that work a lot more, but the fuel staying at ×1 has definitely hindered that strategy. So I've actually come to a sort of conclusion here where as you can see, I'm going for a move around the outside here and just get it done, pull it up, side by side. I actually got a tap in that corner. I wasn't 100% sure if I got a tap or if I ran wide, but I definitely got a tap mid-corner there. So unfortunately I wasn't able to hold the move, but I should be able to make a move again here soon. Not 100% sure, but I definitely had pace. So yeah, start on the hards, move to the mediums, and once you're on those mediums, you really want to utilize just going as fast as you possibly can. Yeah, look at that. That's a very ballsy move there, but I just have quite a large pace margin over that person in the Porsche. So anyway, so now that move's done, let's talk about how I modify the strategy a little bit. So for me, I'm making up as many positions as I can while on the hard tyre. Now a lot of people are doing hard to medium. It is honestly probably the better strat, but a lot of people are coming in on say lap 9 or even lap 10. Lap 10 is kind of the perfect number. What I've been doing is attempting to overcut the people because they are all like especially for me, I'm coming from the back. So for me, I've already dealing with all of these people and having to overtake them. But if you're going into the pits earlier, you're going to be coming out behind people that have stayed out. Here we go for another move on the Subaru, up the inside, a little bit of contact there. I mean, I don't think I could have given him much more space. Like, we're both running side by side and he just sort of continued to turn in. I don't really think I was in the wrong there, but I mean, if anyone thinks any different, be sure to tell me in the comments, but I don't think I was at fault there. But yeah, as I was saying, so the overcut presents a much better opportunity to not get stuck in traffic. And for me, I have quite a decent amount of pace this week on this race, especially in this car. I love this Aston. Other than the fact when it tries to kill me, I do love this Aston. But yeah, for the most part, coming out behind people is just going to hinder your race result at the end of the day. So what I've thought up is to go that one lap extra, and I actually come in on lap 11, and then I absolutely flog 4 laps on the mediums. So it definitely, you know, like, I'm not getting the most out of the mediums by any means. As we see, there's a little bit of side-by-side contact here, but I'm going to get the move done down the inside, and I'm still just not quite on the inside of OGR Lowy here, but down the straight, here we go. The Porsche as well, I don't understand, but my V12 is getting eaten up by this Porsche. Like, it's kind of crazy to think, but Lowy having a big sliding moment, and I'm just sitting there trying to avoid him without also getting eaten up from behind by MLR old 500 triple there. So, and here we go. Lowy seems to be really struggling. I don't know if he's on mediums and trying to get a longer stint, but he seemed to be really struggling, and I've just cruised past straight up the inside. And now Lowy has a good chance to come back at me here, because that Porsche, like I said, is very fast in a straight line and quite good on the brakes. And sure enough, he pokes his nose up, but I've nailed my braking point, and he's gotten a bit squirrely on the exit. So I feel as if I'm pretty much fine here. And there we go, another overtake there on Foxon, and another overtake on someone going into the pits. So right now, guys, we have, I think I started in 13th or 14th this race. I think it's 13th. I started in 13th, and look at this. I'm up to position 4 already. Now that just kind of shows you what happens in this race. There's a lot of carnage. If you just get your head down and try and avoid it, you're definitely going to end up with a good result. Now I'm going to quickly fast forward a bit here, because I don't want to just sit here and watch me do laps. So let's fast forward until I start to catch the back of this Porsche ahead, which should be quite soon, because as I said, I have quite a decent pace advantage, and I've raced with a few of these people before. I mean, just look at this corner, for example. Look at how much time I've just gained on that corner alone. I really like that last corner. Actually, I might even take you through a bit of a lap guide of what I'm looking at, but we might do that after I get past, because I'm pretty sure I get past on this lap. So I also had the fastest lap at this point of the race, which I was on hards and had the fastest lap, which was honestly quite amazing. But I did a 119.2 on the hard tyres before later then beating it on the mediums, of course, on the faster compound tyre. And if I'm setting the fastest lap on the slower compound tyre, it shows me that I really do have a lot of pace. Now, I'm not necessarily in a decent split, like I'm in probably 3rd or maybe even 4th split, but I am getting some AS drivers, and I am beating them. So I definitely think maybe we might be able to get some content in some higher rated Oceania lobbies soon. But here we go, right on the back of him here. This is one of my favorites, going around the outside but then switching back to the inside, but he covered it off beautifully. And I always will look for this late apex. That's the thing, that this corner, you do not want to be going a tight line. You want to have a slow in, fast out aspect, because of this long straight coming up. And especially for me, a lot of cars around me are a lot faster. I don't know why. The Porsche, the WRX, what is another car that people are using? Even the BRZ was a bit faster down the straight, I'm pretty sure. And the Mercedes was very fast. A lot of people are using the Mercedes, very fast down the straight, and I have no idea how my V12 is getting eaten up by them, but I really am. I really have been. So here we are, I'm all over the back of this Porsche now. I'm really pushing him along now. Him and I have had a few battles in pretty much every race for this night. And yeah, I really struggled to get past him. He defends well, but he just doesn't really know when to yield. And again, having a big slide there, but I'm going side by side into the chicane. This is not something you want to do. I want to brake late and get it turned in, and I honestly now props to him for not continuing down, but look at it, getting squirrely again. You really want to avoid that dirt. So I think, what lap are we on here? Let me just bring up the replay options. So we're on lap 8, so I'll quickly fast forward a bit here. So not much else, big slide yet again. That's one thing about this, you know, these Group 3 cars, they really like to slide. So just be wary of that for when you're trying to save tyres. So I've made up another position because, like I said, people have been going into the pits around about 9 or 10. So someone just went into the pits then. So now I'm in P2. Now the guy ahead of me is also yet to pit. So there are some people that already had track position over me at the time that they went into the pits. But at the moment, I'm making good ground. So now I'm going to quickly take you guys through a lap guide while we're just waiting here. Actually, I don't even know what camera. Okay, there we go. So we'll take you through a quick lap guide here as this guy goes into the pits. Now this is my hammer time lap. So Lewis, it's hammer time. We're getting it down. What I've been using is the blue van over on the left there. You can just see it on the edge of screen. I've been using that. Once that clears my screen, I will be braking, and you will see that here. So once that clears my screen, I'm braking. I turn in just that white curb on the right there. That's when I start to turn in and trail brake slightly. And I want to aim as far left as possible, but without touching the grass. So you can clip the grass slightly, but really try not to run your left wheels over the grass. Otherwise, you're just going to get dirty tires. And even though you're only doing it for a split second, you are going to get dirty tires, and it will affect the way that you take the next corner. Now, this is very similar to the next couple of corners. You really want to set yourself up nicely. The end of the white strip on your right, I've kind of gone a bit too far, but the end of the white strip just over here, this white strip here, the end of this, that's when you're going to be braking and starting, again, slightly braking and trail braking and turning yourself into this right-hander. So let's go back to the chase cam, and then you really want to ride the curb here. You want to clip it and get a very good exit out. So now, try and stay as far right as you can, and then right as those two lines meet, clip this curb. And now the orange barrier, once that the end of the orange barrier, so over here, once this is about to leave my screen, so not quite leaving my screen, but once this is about to leave my screen, I'm going to brake in a straight line for a short moment and then trail brake my way to try and meet this apex over here. So you'll see that happen here. It's very slight braking, and then a really good exit. You want to try and straight line the exit, but be very wary because it is quite slippery off that side of the track. Now for me, I'm using this little curb here, this little grey curb. I'm using this, and once this clears my screen, if I'm on mediums, once it's cleared my screen, I'm braking. I usually, when I'm on my hards, and especially if someone's in front of me, I'm using this to brake. So once I'm next to it, I'm going to brake. But when I'm on a fast lap or I'm on mediums, I'm going to wait for this to go off my screen completely. So right there, you can see I was waiting for it to be off my screen. And then, yeah, just make sure you clip the inside curb and just really, again, every corner here is slow in, fast out. Again, this is a slow in, fast out kind of corner. I don't necessarily have a good brake marker for this. I suppose now I'm looking at this, you could probably use this little pole here. But yeah, I don't really have a brake marker. I usually am just feeling it out, because as the tires wear, it becomes a little bit harder to nail this corner. So I've just sort of been feeling it out, but I would say probably here would be good once this clears your screen. But yeah, sort of as you want to get close to the end of the curb, but not too close to the end of the curb as you start to brake. You'll probably see me brake as soon as I press play here. Yeah, like I said. And then you want to stay nice and tight as possible. Only have your right tires on that curb. Don't go past the curb. And then you can really cut that curb, as you can see there. And now this is flat out. So you do not lift throughout this whole section of the track. And now this corner is absolutely, you really want to nail this corner. If you nail this corner, like I said, you're straight. Going down the straight is going to be much better. You're going to get a much better exit. And every corner here, every section of corners even, you want to be, it's a very slow in, fast out track. It's perfect for slow in, fast out drivers, which is me. I like to use slow in, fast out, but I also can late brake. Now I'll show you how to late brake and still get a slow in, fast out corner using a late apex on this corner right here. So the 100-meter board, after the 100-meter board, this arrow right here, I'm braking at this. So once this is next to me, or just before it. Now I'm on hard, so I'm probably going to brake just before it, but I'm going to slam on the brakes once I'm at least near this or in line with this, and then straight line my braking. And you watch, I will continue to straight line my braking. Now, I don't know how to slowly go forward, but I wish I could do that. So I'm just going to have to do this. I'm going to be straight line on the brake, straight. And now you saw I did not move the wheel at all until now. I've just started to trail brake, okay? So once you reach this end of the curb, or even we'll use the end of the curb. So we've just gone past the end of the curb. So I'll just quickly, so yeah, like I said, I've just gone past the end of the curb here. Once you get past the end of the curb, that's when you're going to be wanting to start trail braking and turning in, but not too much. You definitely want to keep your momentum moving towards here for as long as possible, okay? You want to get the latest apex possible. So let's watch me go for a bit longer here. And now right there, look at that. So a lot of people are coming in like here and they're already touching this, and that's just completely hindering your exit. You're not going to get a good exit. So for me, like I said, you're going to straight line, then start to trail brake and really focus on trying to clip the peak of the corner. As you can see, this is quite a sharp hairpin. Like, you follow this curb here, this is probably the sharpest point, and I'm touching it at the sharpest point. So let's watch me go through here and then work towards the exit and then slightly get on the power. Don't do what I did. Make sure you really ease on the power, because like I said, these cars really like to slip. So let's go back to race info as well. Hang on. Let's go back to race info and see where we came out. Now remember, I started in 13th. Now after my pits, I have come out in 2nd position behind the guy that was in front of me. Now there's a lot of people behind me. There's a lot of people behind me that were in front of me when they went into the pits. So using that overcut and really pushing on that lap has definitely gained me a few positions here. Now let's just watch the rest of this out from the chase cam. So we have, effectively we have 4 laps to catch the guy in front of us. Now he's also on the same strategy. So he started on the hards and he's finishing on the mediums, but critically we have a lap fresher tyres and no one's in my way. I have no traffic to get through. I can just get the hammer down and absolutely fly through these laps here. So let's go fast forward until we catch up with him. As you can see here, we're going purple on my own lap time, actually. I went purple on my own lap time and did a 1:18.3. Now there are some people that are doing 1:17s in the race, and they are just, they're freaks. I don't understand how they're doing it. So here we go, guys. We're coming up to the last lap. I've perfectly caught up to the leader on the last lap. So 13th to 2nd position on the last lap. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can get this win. So, following in suit. You can see I got a better exit, but that Porsche just flies down the straight. So here we are, sucking right up to the back of him with slipstream. Now, some carnage going on in the background. Now I'm trying to go for a bit of a wider line again, going for a better exit. Moving up alongside here. Now I've done this move 3 times. Can we get it done again? Around the outside with the fresher tyres. Now move back over to the left, get your exit right, and drive out of the corner. So there we go, guys. 13th to 1st. 13th to 1st. That is incredible. Even though I'm not in top split lobbies, these guys are still not they're not bad drivers. They're all quite good. Now, not to say that some of them had problems or anything like that, but yeah, 13th to 1st using this strategy, definitely one to consider. Sometimes going long can be better, and then saving that softer compound tyre to really push it. And I mean, look at my tyres. We're on the last lap now, and I've barely worn my tyres. But look at my split times. I'm already 6/10 down on my fastest lap while still driving at the same pace, using the same lines. These mediums wear off very quickly. So guys, with all that said and done, and hopefully, you know, you guys can enjoy the lap guide there, I'm going to sign off here and say thank you for enjoying the watch. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it if you made it all the way to the end. Yeah, be sure to do this race if you have GT7. It is an impeccable combo. I cannot say this highly enough. Just really, really be careful of your tires and oversteer. All right, have a great day, guys.